Okay, part five, finance department, three-headed monster. Why is a lawyer talking to you about the finance department? Because it's so important that the company be functioning well and that you have good, clean books, that you know what you owe the government and tax obligation. You know what, that you've paid your taxes. You know what you owe your customers and your suppliers. All legal implications are throughout the financial statements. I actually like looking at financial statements first most of the time, which is why I'm not your typical business lawyer. Okay. Now, there's a three-headed monster that you need for a finance department. Even if you're a small company, you got to fill all three roles because they're happening to you one way or the other. Bookkeeper, CFO, chief financial officer, and CPA. Okay. The bookkeeper is taking all your raw data and it's all the cash inflows and outflows in and out of the company and organizing it. It's what a bookkeeper does. The CFO takes all that and synthesizes it into financial statements and helps you understand the financial statements and the strategy if you want to build a budget model, things like that. The CPA should be taking all that clean. There might be a few questions and then they go file your tax returns. And a lot of times CPAs have this and they offer bookkeeping, but they don't really provide this CFO role. So this is really important that either you learn the basics yourself, okay, or you don't rely on people who are not doing that analysis. I put in here a couple links. There's an Investopedia article about financial statements that I think is a great primer, and it's a short read. And then if you want to read a book on it, the Portable MBA in Finance Accounting is one of the best. I read it several times, and it's probably recommended by some top level people. Okay. I say it's always a red flag when the CEO or management team doesn't have at least a basic grasp of the three financial statements for a company and how they function. If you're trying to get a deal done and get a loan financed by a bank or bring on an investor and you're fumbling around when it's time to talk the books and it's sloppy and it doesn't make sense, you are sunk. Okay. And they're going to take advantage of it. They're going to lean harder on you. They're going to penalize you more. They're going to, and they're the way they negotiate the contracts are going to be reflective of that. I also said it's important that your CPA understands the context of your business, what you do, how you provide your products and services, and what your future plans are. You don't just call your CPA up once or twice a year. I mean, you don't need to talk to them all the time, but take them to dinner in the beginning and explain the business and explain where your customers are, where your employees are. Give them the lay of the land. Don't just wait till tax time to fill them in on all this info because then they can't give you good advice. Okay. So all of those trickle down to legal risk and legal problems. Okay. And, I mentioned this in the beginning, CPAs are not CFOs and don't usually provide much in the way of financial statement analysis. That's not always true, but it's not their primary function in my experience. So find a capable CFO or learn to do it yourself. All right. Next, we'll talk about intellectual property.